where Stephen A. ranks LeBron. That would be
number 2 overall, number 2 in the history of basketball.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
Number 2 overall, number 2 in the history of basketball. Makes sense. I think most people do.
I'm thinking Kobe Bryant's top 10 all time, probably top 5. He's not number 2 all time in the history of basketball. What's wrong with that, Shaq?
But I have a problem with, what you said. Like, my thing is, it doesn't matter who the GOAT is, my guy should be in the conversation.
Yes.
No, but hold on. So if you guys just throw him out of the conversation.
Stephen A. Smith may have finally pushed things too far, and Shaquille O'Neal wasn't about to let it slide on ESPN. Stephen A. tried to explain why he refuses to rank Kobe Bryant ahead of LeBron James in the all-time GOAT debate. But before his point could settle, Shaq fired back. What followed wasn't a simple disagreement. It was a full-on takedown. Shaq didn't just challenge Stephen A.'s reasoning. He ripped apart the entire argument, leaving no room for debate to him. Dismissing Kobe's place in history wasn't just wrong. It was disrespectful, and for once, the usually unshakable Stephen A. found himself on the receiving end of dismantling that even fans admitted he couldn't talk his way out of.
Sometimes when I hear people talk, I don't understand the criteria. Is it championships? Is it points?
Right.
Is it, like, I always have arguments with people like, I don't really care who's in it, but I think you should put the right people in.
Yeah.
Right. So right now it's just, for some reason, LeBron and Jordan. Which is fine, but you're not going to throw Kobe in there?
Shaquille O'Neal didn't just respond. He laid down the law. The Big Diesel made it clear. Michael Jordan is the unquestioned GOAT, and Kobe Bryant sits right behind him at number 2. Ahead of LeBron James, a way Shaq dismantled Stephen A. Smith's take wasn't just firm. It was brutal. Every counterpoint hit harder than the last, leaving no doubt where he stands on the debate. And tonight, we're breaking down each moment of that takedown, step by step.
First of all, again, he's one of the all-time greats. There's nothing to debate. But he's number 2 at the 2 guard. He's not number 1. We all know he's not Jordan. He didn't have Jordan's resume. We know that.
Stephen A. argued he can't rank Kobe above LeBron because, in his words, Kobe's team struggled when he was on his own. But for a man who claimed to understand the game, that reasoning couldn't be more off base. It's not just a weak take. It's one of the most misguided arguments you'll ever hear in this debate.
They've asked me about Kobe. How come Kobe isn't in that conversation? He's got more chips than LeBron James. And I said, my response was, Kobe's not even number 1 in his position. And we all love and
not at all. You got to think about MVPs and like how many he's won.
No,
and, like, other
things I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just watching the game with the eye test. As great and as phenomenal as Kobe was, nobody ever said he's superior to MJ, and they played identical positions and had an identical style of play.
Stephen A. built his case around the idea that LeBron avoided the kind of rough season Kobe experienced, highlighting that LeBron's only had 3 losing records in over 2 decades. But that's where his argument falls apart. Context matters. Reducing greatness to win-loss records without considering the circumstances isn't just lazy. It's downright embarrassing.
He's a 6-time champion. He's a 6-time league MVP. And I still have LeBron number 2 and then Kareem number 3 because of the versatility and all the all-around abilities that LeBron brings to the game, which Bird and Kareem and those guys did not have. LeBron is number 2 all-time behind Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
The audacity of Stephen A. to downplay Kobe's legacy while praising LeBron's constant team hopping is unreal in his logic. LeBron gets credit for escaping tough situations, while Kobe gets criticized for staying loyal and battling through them. That's not just unfair. It's backwards. And when Shaquille O'Neal heard Stephen A. casually leaving Kobe out of the GOAT conversation, he wasn't having it. Shaq, who spent 8 seasons alongside Kobe, stepped in to set the record straight. The only thing I don't like about the GOAT conversation is they don't put my boy Kobe Bryant in it. Shaq said firmly that he made it clear Michael, LeBron, or Kobe. Now you all can debate. Notice the order: Michael, LeBron, or Kobe, not just LeBron.
Oh, no, I think we're upset. I think we're a little edgy. I think it's good for us.
Despite the losses on the road, do you think this team still has time to gel, considering how many road games you have coming up?
Sure, please.
But what's going to be the key, and what stuff have you guys worked on? You haven't had a losing streak like this in years.
Just execute better.
Shaq didn't crown Kobe the undisputed number 1, but he made it clear Kobe deserved far more respect than Stephen A. was giving him. The Big Diesel was ready to give a masterclass on what real basketball analysis sounds like. We as people, we don't stand on what we stand on, but I have a problem with what you said. Doesn't matter who the GOAT is, my guy should be in the conversation. Shaq fired back. The tension in the room spiked immediately, and everyone knew Stephen A. was in for it.
I'm thinking Kobe Bryant's top 10 all time, probably top 5. He's not number 2 all time in the history of basketball. What's wrong with that, Shaq?
But I have a problem with, you know, what you said. Like, my thing is, doesn't matter who the GOAT is, my guy should be in the conversation.
Yes.
No, but hold on. So you guys just throw him out of the conversation. So somehow it just went from Mike to LeBron, and you just threw my guy out of the conversation. His name needs to be in there all the time. Mm-hmm. And when his name is not in there, that's when people have a problem.
I look at Kobe. There is nothing on earth to question the greatness of Kobe Bryant, who to me is one of the greatest of all time. But it did help for those first 3 rings that he had you in your prime to some degree.
That's not the point. The point everybody is making is don't leave him out the conversation.
I'm not leaving him out the conversation.
You are. I don't mind people talking about who their GOAT is, but you definitely got to have my boy in that conversation.
I definitely would, and I definitely would.
This wasn't about Shaq showing blind loyalty to a former teammate. It was about a man who lived through Kobe's greatness, checking someone who only consumed it through highlights and box scores. Shaq wasn't speculating. He was at 8 years of practices, locker room battles, playoff wars, and championship runs gave him a perspective Stephen A. simply can't touch. The contrast was crystal clear. One man spoke from lived experience, the other from television sound bites.
I was like, you know, like Jordan and Kobe and LeBron, that they got to do things I couldn't do. I wanted to be a force in the middle that people were afraid of. So, like, I don't get offended when people do not put my name in that category.
Shaq has never wavered on one point. Michael Jordan is the greatest to ever play the game, but what raised eyebrows was his next claim in his eyes. Kobe Bryant stands closer to Jordan's level than LeBron James ever has. Plenty of former NBA stars still place Kobe Bryant ahead of LeBron in the GOAT conversation, pointing to one thing. Kobe wasn't just skilled. He was the closest replica we've ever seen of Michael Jordan, from his footwork to his relentless mindset. The Mamba mentality was pure basketball instinct. Shaquille O'Neal saw it up close. So when Shaq called Jordan the undisputed number 1 and puts Kobe right behind him, it's more than a ranking, it's a declaration about DNA. Some players are born with that rare fire, and Kobe had it.
For me, it's always Dr. J and Michael Jordan, Magic and those guys.
I might get flamed for this, but dude, I'm from Cleveland.
Stephen A.'s take on team success falls apart the second you dig deeper. He applauds LeBron for never letting his team collapse, but leaves out a key detail. LeBron had the power to handpick his destinations. Kobe never played that game. He stayed loyal to the Lakers through rebuilding years, tough rosters, injuries, and front office chaos. That's not failure, that commitment, and that's a difference Shaq sees. Even if Stephen A. won't admit the irony, Stephen A. once claimed Kobe was even greater than Shaq himself, which makes his latest stance not just confusing, but flat-out contradictory.
Michael looks over at us and said, he can't guard me.
Kobe looks over at Doug Collins and said, this guy cannot.
When the debate shifts to what really counts, championships, the numbers tell the biggest story. Kobe finished his career with 5 titles, the same as Magic Johnson. LeBron has 4. But spread across 3 different franchises, so which legacy holds more weight? Shaq's answer is clear. Kobe's rings came from loyalty, sacrifice, and unmatched mental toughness. Staying with one team and delivering 5 banners in Los Angeles wasn't an accident. It was proof of dominance over more than a decade. And while Stephen A. points to Kobe's down years as a knock against him, that logic misses the truth. Every legend has tough stretches when the roster isn't there. The difference? Kobe never bailed. He stayed, fought through it, and figured out how to win again.
In the spirit of Kobe Bryant, let me end this segment by saying this. Say what you will about Kobe Bryant. That brother put in the work. And it was never an option for him to miss games or to not represent basketball the way that he did. I want everybody to remember that brother was about putting in that work.
Shaq doesn't need highlight reels or stat sheets to explain Kobe Bryant's greatness. He lived it while Stephen A. rattles off rankings from a studio desk. Shaq remembers the battles that defined an era. He remembers the 2000 Western Conference Finals, when Kobe carried the Lakers through a 15-point fourth-quarter comeback in Game 7 against Portland. He remembers the 2001 playoffs, when Kobe torched the fences for nearly 30 points a night for Shaq. Those weren't numbers, they were lived moments of dominance. And when he compares LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan, he points to one defining factor: fear when the game was on the line. Which player made opponents tighten up, second guess, and break? That answer, in Shaq's mind, says everything.
In addition to overpowering you inside, you might as well wave the white flag of surrender. Bryant lays it off to Bryant.
The dribble penetration and the quickness of Kobe Bryant is really causing problems for the Pacer perimeter guys. When he gets in there, the back line steps.
This is where Shaq's counter completely undercuts Stephen A's stance. LeBron often gets praised for his basketball IQ and ability to choose the right situations. But what about loyalty? What about building a legacy the hard way? Kobe gave 2 decades to one franchise, riding through the highs and the lows. He didn't chase rings through calculated moves. He earned them by grinding it out and refusing to quit. That's the real contrast. LeBron as a master strategist versus Kobe as a relentless competitor.
They want to be 41 and 41. They don't want to be 40 and 42.
And Bryant for 47. Missed that. Rebound by Jeff Whippy.
When Shaq defends Kobe's place in the GOAT debate, he's really defending something bigger than stats or highlight reels. The belief that greatness is about more than just finding perfect circumstances. Character matters, loyalty matters, mental toughness matters. And Shaq isn't speaking as a fan. He's speaking as someone who saw Kobe's brilliance up close technically. Kobe's skill set was as close to Michael Jordan's as we've ever seen. Precise footwork, unstoppable fadeaways, polished post moves, relentless defense, and that rare clutch gene that only the all-time legends have. Kobe wasn't just talented, he was complete. LeBron, on the other hand, is larger, faster, and stronger than almost anyone who's ever played the game. But as Shaq points out, basketball isn't just a test of athletic gift. When Shaq faced them both, the difference was clear. Kobe came at you with skill and sheer willpower. LeBron leaned more on physical advantages and strategic matchups. That's why Shaq's perspective hits so hard, because he lived it. And it's also why Stephen A's pushback falls flat. His counter-arguments don't just miss the point. They expose how little he truly understands about what it takes to win basketball at the highest level.
From Philadelphia, I find it unbelievable that the fans are booing you here. Does that hurt your feelings?
Yeah, my feelings are hurting, man. I mean, I'm just out there trying to play and have a good time, and yeah, my feelings are hurt being from Philadelphia.
Was the 2002 MVP Kobe Bryant.
This is the same analyst who flips his arguments depending on ratings and social media buzz. Shaq's perspective, by contrast, comes from lived experience, not hot take culture. When someone who actually shared the floor with a legend corrects your analysis, maybe it's time to listen instead of doubling down on weak points. What Shaq understands, and Stephen A doesn't, is the mental side of greatness. Kobe's mind was built differently than LeBron's. His relationship with pressure, his hunger for competition, and his sense of legacy came from a place of obsession and resilience. That's the gap Stephen A misses, and that's the truth Shaq keeps hammering home.